Good morning or good afternoon, students, and welcome to our class for today. It's good to be back after a few weeks. Nabalik na gud si sir sa inyong video lecture. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about a new topic, which is what we call informative essay. How to write it, all of these other things we are going to learn. So let's go first to our lesson outline. What are we going to learn exactly in this lesson? First, we're going to learn what is an informative essay, and then we're going to talk about the functions of an informative essay, and then general tips in making an informative essay, and lastly, the organizational outline or how we are going to write. This is how this is the meat of the lesson. Unsaon yun na to pagsuwat og informative essay, because some of you still don't know how to make essays paman gani, but today we're going to learn a specific type of essay, which is the informative essay. So let's go first to the definition of our informative essay. What is an informative essay, Sir Kevin? Okay. Informative essay provides basic information and in-depth knowledge of a selected topic. Basically, it gives you information. If you write something, if you write an informative essay, so you're trying to give us information about something that we don't know, or something na inyong desire, inyong ganahan. So you're telling us, you're giving us information, okay, and in-depth knowledge. That means kanang you have a background good about this topic, whatever topic that you're writing. At least you have some knowledge about it. Okay, informative essay does not present an opinion or try to persuade the reader. So this is an important thing sa informative essay. You do not present your own opinion, or you do not try to persuade the reader. So you're just trying to give facts. Okay? Basically, information only essay. Okay? So you will not say nga, dapat ingon ani gyud yung button, this is what you're going to do. No. Okay? Because it does not present your opinion, or you do not persuade the reader with your essay. So what are the functions of an informative essay? First, informative essay is used to define a term, especially if, let's say, for example, you're going to talk about the vaccines. Let's say, for example, you're going to talk about the upcoming Gamaleya vaccine. So, who made this one? Asa nagikan? Where does this come from? So that's there. You define a term. Number two, to compare and to contrast something. Let's say, for example, you're trying to compare the effectivity of the vaccine from Russia and the vaccine from China. So you're trying to compare and contrast the two vaccines. So that could be a topic for an informative essay. Number three, to analyze data. Okay, so let's say, for example, you had a survey about, you gave a survey to your fellow grade 7 students trying to figure out how online classes go in their houses, and then you have the data and you're trying to analyze the data. Then that is the function of an informative essay, to analyze data. And number four, to provide a how-to. Let's say, for example, in your TLE, your teacher wanted you to cook something. What do you call this? Fried rice. If you watch in Facebook, Uncle Nigel. Good morning, niece and nephews. So, di ba, Uncle Roger there is, ang iyang famous nga recipe where he got famous is the fried rice, egg fried rice. So let's say, for example, you're going to write about how to cook egg fried rice, and then imo a essay, then that could be a type of an informative essay as well. Okay? So let's go to the general tips. How we are going to make an informative essay. Number one, brainstorm. To come up a list of ideas of great topics that is close to your heart. Okay? So, you find topics that ma-relate ninyo, it's relatable, it's credible, and it's up to date ang materials, because you're going to have sources here. Okay? Kay even though nga you're still grade 7, even though you can write an essay, you need to have a source of information. Not entirely nga inyo i-copy-paste, ha? And what I'm trying to say is that you need to brainstorm topics that you like. Let's say, for example, right now, I like to talk about how the founder of the Black Lives Movement bought 4 houses in 1 year. Diba? And ang presyo pag sa balay kay kanang dollars pag yun. So, I'm trying to research about that one. So, that's one thing close to my heart. Okay? So, I'll put there. So, number 1. Okay, so, katong the founder of Black Lives Matter. So, you'll come up with a list of ideas that are close to your heart na inyong ganahan is what? Kaya the tendency is that if you're going to write about something which you do not even like, you will not give me a good informative essay. Okay? Think about which of the potential topics would be kanang the most beneficial for the reader. Unsa may what kind of information that you're going to write about which will really benefit the reader. Okay? So, you brainstorm all the possible topics that you can think of. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, create a sound tentative. That means a temporary thesis statement before writing. Okay? So what is a thesis statement? For those who do not know what a thesis statement is, it is usually a single sentence near the beginning of your paper that presents your argument to the reader. So what are you trying to tell us? So that's basically what a thesis statement is. What are you trying to tell us? Okay? So think about what you wish to share to the reader. Reasons why the specific problem is important and how to persuade the audience of the issue significant. Okay? So let's have a thesis statement. Okay? So one topic that's close to my heart right now is the vaccine supply. Okay? Lately lang, the Cebu City government did not have enough vaccines. Okay, so they have to close off. They opened the SMC side vaccination center, and then the next day they close it down because the reason is that they do not have enough vaccines. So there is a shortage of supply right now. Okay, so I would like to have my thesis statement. I want to bring this argument to my readers that the Philippines do not have enough vaccines because of the insufficient global supply. Okay, it's not because nga wala ta nakapalit. We have the money but then we cannot buy because other countries are also buying. And the law of supply and demand would tell us nga if daghan ang supply, if daghan ang demand, if there's a lot of demand, then the supply would really dwindle down. Okay? So, that's my thesis statement. Okay? Number 3, what you're going to do is you're going to write a draft. What do you mean by writing a draft, sir? That means, I think you know what draft is, but in the initial draft, list the questions related to the chosen topic along with the facts you know based on personal knowledge, experience, and research. Okay? So, sa inyong initial draft, before you start writing the informative essay, you need to list down all the questions relating to your topic and then provide the answers. So this will be the basis of your argument. This will be the basis on how you are going to defend your thesis statement. Okay? Along with the facts you know based on personal knowledge, experience, and research. So according to what you know, what you experience, and what you researched. Okay? And then provide specific examples from real life to prove that you have faced or you have experienced the issue. So, just like what I said before, o diba katong the Cebu City government kanang closed down its vaccination centers because there is an insufficient kanang supply of vaccines available. Okay? So, I can have that one as a real life example in my draft. Okay? So, after you list all the questions and then the facts, you start writing down a draft. And then the next tip is that you need to observe the selected topic online and in the library. But unfortunately, you cannot go to the library. So adto gitag online. We're going to go online. So you need to search. This is what I told you about. You research about the topic. So it's important for you to choose credible, relevant, and up-to-date sources that should not be at least 10 years older. Okay? So kung mangita gani mo og source, at least at least not more than 10 years older. Okay? So, textbooks, newspapers, journal articles, articles from news articles. So, that can be a good kanang source for you. You can also interview other people so that mura siya nice. Oh, di ba? Interviewing people is another great way of collecting information. It really sounds good if you have someone you interviewed. Let's say, for example, you are going to talk about kanang how you earned a 1.3 hectare land in the province. Okay, so you're going to interview your lolo. Lo, how did we get this? Giunsa ni nato pagkuha ang atong yuta? Oh, sige, interview ni mo imong lolo. Or you're going to write it in your essay. It will be nice, diba? Because you have a personal experience about it. Okay? Next, number 5, write the body. See, so after you write the draft, you researched, you write the body, you write the final thing. Okay? You write the final draft or the body, okay, of your informative essay. And then lastly, proofread or edit your final draft. Okay? So remember, dili mo pass sa inyong teacher o pataka-pataka lang, but you're going to proofread your final draft. Okay? So, we have here the organizational outline for informative essay. So, we have here three things nga parts sa usa ka essay. We have the introduction, we have the body, and we have the conclusion. Let's go first to the introduction. Unsa may dapat ang nasa introduction? Number 1, you provide a hook statement. Diba? From the word hook, if a fish is kanang naibait, diba? Kung naibait, makukuha yun na siya, masud yun na siya sa hook, and then makuha yun ang fish. The fish will be kanang taken away. The same thing with your essay. You need to start your essay, your introduction, with a hook statement, something that will get the idea of the audience. And then define the topic. What's your topic about? And then provide a short background information on the topic. And then create your thesis statement. Okay? Or you write your thesis statement. So here's an expert tip from Catherine Doyle. Okay? Among all hooks, that means the first sentence, try to focus on jokes. This is what you're going to do. Jokes, statistics, facts, famous quotes, anecdotes or stories, similes, and metaphors. Example, eating disorder is one of the leading killers of young girls. Oh, so when you read that one, you will be like kind of surprised. Oh, really? Eating disorders that is the kanang leading killers? So you'll be surprised because even me, I did not know about this one. So introduce the topic with its background in a couple of sentences, and then end up with a powerful thesis statement, which points to the necessity of the topic of the research. Do everything possible to lure or danihon ninyo. You're trying to grab the attention or the interest of the audience in the initial paragraph. So in your introduction is very important. Okay? So let me help you how we can go about this introduction. So first, provide a hook statement. Okay? So here, the hook sentence that I'm trying to write here is a fact. Okay? So after a month since the vaccine rollout started, the Philippines, which is a population of 108 million, has only vaccinated around 1.4 of its citizens. Huh? Only 1.4, sir? Out of 108 million? Oh, diba? It gives you kanang something na mura mong makuyawan, or it's a surprising fact. So when you read that one, it's a hook already. You're like a fish nga, wala na, you're being caught up in the kanang sana fishing rod. Wala na, nakuha na mo. Okay? So that's how you start off your introduction. Number 2, define the topic. So after the vaccination has been vaccinated around 1.4 of its citizens, the next thing that we're going to do, define the topic. So what's the topic again? It's about the COVID vaccination. Okay? So the COVID vaccination is the effort of the national government to reduce the rate of deaths due to COVID. Number 3, provide short background information on the topic. So our topic is the COVID vaccination, okay? Or katong the supply and chuchu. Okay? So let's have a background information. The goal of the national government is to inoculate or to inject bitaw, at least 70 million Filipinos to achieve the desired herd immunity. Once this is achieved, we can further open up our economy and revive it to its pre-pandemic state. However, the rate of vaccination is low in the Philippines. Or diba, you're trying to give a background information of the topic, which we're going to go now to our thesis statement. And our thesis statement is, this slowdown can be attributed to the global shortage of the current vaccine supply. Okay? So, that's how we end our introduction with our thesis statement. So, this slowdown can be attributed to the global shortage of the current vaccine supply. Now, let's go, after the introduction, we go to the body. Now, the body is to inform the readers about the details of your topic. So, you gave a background information, but we need more information. We need more details. So, this is where you're going to put it in the body. So, share some interesting facts. Go into some possibly unknown details. Maybe there are some things that your readers did not know, but you know. Or reflect a common knowledge. Maybe the readers already know this, but they don't know how to apply it into your own topic. Reflect a common knowledge in a new light to make readers intrigued. Okay? So here, we have our body. Each paragraph in the body. Okay? So, a body can compose of at least 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, but each paragraph in the body should contain, number 1, your claim. What are you trying? Unsa man inyong, what's your proof? How will you prove your thesis statement? That's your claim. Number 1. Number 2, your supporting evidence. How are you going to support your claim? And number 3, the explanation. The explanation for the evidence. So, you can see these 3 are just connected to each other. So, ang claim, your claim about your thesis statement has to be supported by an evidence, and then you're going to explain the evidence that you are trying to use to prove your claim. So, these are all connected. Okay? So, we have our body here. Okay? So, again, your claim, and then supporting evidence, and then explanation. Okay, so let's read this one. Okay? I hope you can read it in YouTube, but let me read it for you. We're having problems procuring the needed vaccines because first world countries, which accounts to 14% of the world's population, have bought at least 53% of the global vaccine supply. That's my claim. Here's my evidence. Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, even admitted that only 10 wealthy countries have administered 75% of all vaccinations in the world. This means that the remaining 25% of vaccination, this is my explanation. Okay? This means that the remaining 25% of vaccinations are thinly spread out to more than 100 countries. Some countries have not even received a single dose of vaccine as of this time. Okay? So that's our body. So, nakita ninyo, the first sentence is the claim, the second sentence is the supporting evidence, and then the third and fourth sentence is my explanation. You can pause it if I read it too fast. You can pause the video, you can try to read it again. Okay? But this is how our body should go. Okay? And lastly, we have our conclusion. So, atong conclusion should provide a summary of the main points listed in the body of the essay. Okay? So, all your claims should be summarized in your conclusion. And also, you need to bring closure to your essay. Sana all na closure, diba? Diba? Bring closure to your essay. Avoid adding any new information or questions. This is important. some of the writers, mangyud, when they write, especially in the conclusion, they include another new information. No more. Bring closure, sana all na closure, to your essay. Okay? So, let's have here. So, here's how we can structure our conclusion. Number 1, reword the thesis statement. So, that means you're going to tweak a few words, you're trying to change a few words. Basta the same ragyapon, it's the same detail as your thesis statement, you're just rewording it. Number 2, reiterate the significance of your topic. Okay? And number 3, offer some forecast for the future. Forecast, that means kanang if this thing will not be solved, or this thing magpadayon ni, or let's say for example you're trying to make a you're trying to make an essay about how to cook a kanang cookie. So let's say for example, if you do this step by step, you're going to have some good cookies. So that's number 3, kanang offer some forecast. So let's go. Let me show you a few examples. Number 1, reword the thesis statement. So this is where we reword the thesis statement. Diba atong thesis statement is about katong the global vaccine supply. Chuchu. So I reworded it. So there is no question about the Philippines' capability to purchase these vaccines, but it's a matter of supply and demand. Okay, so I reworded my thesis statement into this. Okay, so it's a matter of supply and demand. Number 2, reiterate the significance of your topic. So this is important to note, since some would like to point out that the reason for our slow vaccination rate is the ineptness of our government. Okay, so this is the significance of the topic. Why is this significant? Why should we know? Okay, because some people would like to misinform us of what's happening with our supply of vaccines. They will tell us nga, kanang inyong atong government kay chuchu. But they don't know nga there is really a global vaccine supply shortage. Okay? So, that's number 2. Reiterate the significance of your topic. Number 3, offer some forecast in the future. So, if the global vaccine supply shortage continues, we should expect a limited amount of vaccines to be inoculated in our humongous, in our big population for a longer period of time. Okay? So if magdugay pa ni atong shortage of vaccine supply, dugay gyud ta mahuman. We're going to, if this continues, then we will achieve the herd immunity a longer time. Okay? So that's our conclusion. So first we have the introduction, we have the body, and we have the conclusion. Sa atong body, in our body, we need to have at least 3 paragraphs. So that's 1 paragraph for the introduction, 3 paragraphs for the body, and 1 paragraph for the conclusion. So that means when you make your informative essay, there will be at least 5 paragraphs. And then each paragraph should have at least 3 sentences. 3 to 4. 3 sentences, sorry. At least 3 sentences. Pero kung 2, di na yun na pwede. Ang 3, that's the bare minimum, but I will accept it. Okay? Now, here's what you need to remember, especially if you research things. Do not forget to cite your sources using the APA format. We talked about this one in the 3rd quarter or 2nd quarter, if I'm not mistaken. We need to use the APA format, or the American Psychological Association. This is the citing reference. So this is how we cite our reference. Let's say, for example, if you have paraphrased everything, okay? If you have paraphrased everything, and wala ninyo gi-include ang author, you did not include the author, the first citation there is what you're going to use. So it is noted that only 10 countries have received 75% of the total vaccine doses available, open close parenthesis, the last name of the author, and the date of the publication, or kanang date na gisulti niya. Okay? So that's INSO, 2021. That is if you paraphrased it. Now, there's also a paraphrasing, but you use the author's name in the sentence. Just like here, INSO 2021 noted that only 10 countries have received 75% of the total vaccine doses available. So if you included already the author, so you just write the date or the year of publication. So INSO, open close parenthesis, 2021. Sir Kevin, what if I copied a quote? Okay? Kung diretso gud siya nga quote, so you do it like this. And the kanang third. Only 10 wealthy countries hold 75% of the global vaccine supply, close parenthesis, and then open parenthesis, the name of the author, the date of the publication, and the page number kung asa niyo nakita. But if it's online, it's the paragraph number. Okay? So, ikapila siya nga paragraph ninyo nakita ang kana nga source, that's what you're going to write there. Kanang P there means page. But if you're going to use paragraph, the shortcut or the abbreviation of paragraph is para. So that's P-A-R-A and then period. And then paragraph number na yun. Okay? So I hope you have understood this one. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on Messenger. Okay? And I will answer your questions. Okay? The important thing is that you understood this lesson because this is a performance task. You're going to write an informative essay. Okay? But don't worry, I will be with you. I will check your informative essay the first time. And then, sa second time, dira na ko mo grade. So that means in your first time, when you write your informative essay, there will be corrections. And I expect you to do those corrections. And then in the second submission, that's where I'm going to grade your informative essay. Am I clear? Okay, very good. So that's the end of our class for today. Thank you for coming to our class and goodbye. God bless you. Stay safe.